Ready?
I'll just do this.
Are we ready to do
We're
this?
ready. We're ready.
Do this.
Let's do
All
it.
right. Well, it's been a while since we've been here.
I know. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Merry
Hello,
Christmas.
everybody. Welcome back. It's like I said, it's been since last year since the
We've
three
been
of
a
us
little
sat here at
busy.
this
Been a
table.
little- I
Yeah,
know.
it's been a
Yeah.
a busy time, but I just want to take a little bit of time here. And oh, by the way, hello, I'm Tommy Allen as normal, and with me I have Sheriff Mikesell and Lieutenant Bunting. So
Good
thank
morning,
you for
Teller County.
Morning, morning.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
Yeah, really.
So, but though we haven't had much of a chance to get here and talk to the people of Teller County, we've got a lot of good stuff going on. Now, what do we got coming up here?
New year, new calendar of events. We're already jumping in and getting stuff ready. We're thinking about the open house coming up in June. Lots of fun. We got lots of vendors planned, and right here at the sheriff's office, so that'll be fun. This year we have a clay shoot. Going to be at the Pikes Peak Gun Club. That's coming up in June as well. We've never had one before, so I'm excited. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We do have the information on our website and social media page, so check it out. If you'd like to do clay shooting, we'd love to have you come out and compete. So lots of fun. This year we're going to be doing National Night Out with the Woodland Park PD back
Yep.
at Memorial Park in Woodland Park.
So we'll be working with Chief Deisler
Yeah,
and
his
and
crew.
all his crew. So that'll be good. So everybody
Tuesday,
can come down and
August
see us.
5th. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. That's going to be from 5 to 8 p.m. And, of course, Netco will be there, Chief Lambert. We'll have everybody there. Just like old times again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been a while since we've all kind of done something at Memorial Park as like a bunch of agencies, hasn't it been?
Right,
I mean, the last open house we did was over at Divide Fire, and then
Yep.
we did, or not that
No,
was
that
open
was
house,
National
that was National
Night
Night
Out.
and then the last open house we did was right here, so we
Right.
haven't actually.
Well,
Yeah.
Had the
Chief
opportunity
McLeod
to-
was new to the area, and we kind of wanted to have
Oh,
him
yeah.
there to introduce him and everything.
I like Chief McLeod,
Right,
great
I know,
guy.
I like him
Yeah,
too.
great
Yeah,
guy.
over at Divide Fire, he is a good guy. But I was going to tell you that one of the things we're going to be looking at doing here in May is the back to school barbecue that we have not only in Cripple Creek. We're going to do it again this year in Memorial Park for the Woodland Park kids. So unfortunately, they're both at the same time. So we normally send some people to Cripple Creek, and then some people will go to Woodland Park. So we're there with the kids on the last day of school doing the barbecue, flipping the burgers. So that'll be a lot of fun.
No, there's a lot going on. We've got, let's see, the Posse.
Yes, the
so
Posse,
the
they're
Posse is
busy.
growing in numbers, and
Oh, yeah.
they're helping out with so many different events, so
I
many
know,
different
I
things
know.
It's
happening in the
amazing
county.
the stuff that the Posse.
Oh my
they're
gosh,
amazing
They're
people.
everywhere. They're everywhere. And search and rescue. Oh, they were just called out last night. I mean, they are busy.
Yeah. Search and Rescue has been busier this year than I think they've ever been.
Than ever,
And man, I'm glad we have them.
Yeah.
And we have the numbers that we have. So.
We do.
It's huge.
We have a huge volunteer group with search and rescue, and they have people that are still in probationary period, so waiting to be members. So I think they really have a good crew.
Good, robust crew. Good.
Absolutely.
Well, and if you look at their Facebook page, or the
Yep.
Teller County Search
Yep.
and Rescue's Facebook page, they always, like every day, every couple of days, they have some other operation that they have had to participate in that they're posting about.
And
So,
training.
Yep.
And training
and training too, yeah,
'Cause they
that's
are
right.
training every weekend, every meeting, and it's like they are busy.
Yeah, given the job
So,
they do, that training is
I know.
very important.
Yep. They're good people.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. But I think one of the good things is that once again, everything is starting over again. We started with the Ice Castle event, and that was huge. I mean, the turnout, the traffic. Oh my gosh, it's just been crazy. And then, of course, this past weekend, the Ice Festival started up in Cripple Creek. They've got the carvers out there, and it's been a lot of fun. And of course, this will be the judging week, and it's great. Just seeing all the people there, all the stuff they have for the kids,
Well,
and the troll
Yeah,
too.
there's so many community events going on within Teller County at any given time. There's
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of people coming
Exactly,
in.
yeah.
And then I think too, we have the CART team. So working with Trixie, so that's a huge group of people that
Right.
are working on different things. We've
So
got
what
all
exactly
the,
is the CART team?
So the CART team it's an animal response team
Okay.
that runs underneath the county as well, in the sheriff's office, and they respond out when we have major fires or incidents where we need to move large animals and small animals
Okay.
That's right.
from different subdivisions. So the huge group of people and such great people.
And the good thing is that we're able to work with that CART team before the emergency, so we can get them vetted, we can check their insurance and their driver's history, all of that. That way, when an emergency happens, we already have those responders vetted, so that way we can just call them to say, hey, we need help.
Well, and that vetting process is for the community too, so they
Right,
know that the people
exactly.
taking their animals, are legitimate sheriff's office workers at that time when we have those emergencies. So it's a big deal.
Right. And I'll tell you, especially people who have animals in Teller County, they're like their kids. I mean, you
Oh,
want to make sure that
absolutely.
they are getting taken the best of care. So
Yeah.
absolutely. And we work with T-Crass a lot. We love Angie over there, and of course Kathleen. I think that's a great group, and they work with Trixie and Kendra, our animal control officers. So they really have a good working relationship as well when we have an emergency.
Well, not only that, but all the 501c3s in the
Oh,
county that we're
absolutely.
helping, they're just great people. You have the little chapel up here that do the
Yes.
food. Ken and Judy are just
yeah,
amazing
I know, they're
people.
great, yeah.
You've got Storehouse Ministries.
Yes.
You have the community partnerships. You have
Community
the Aspen
Covered,
Mine
Aspen Mine
Center.
Center,
I
yeah.
mean, there's so many to name, and,
Right.
and it's just a great group of people.
Right, and this year again, we're going to be doing the food collection with the fire departments. We put out baskets so people know, hey, drop off food at one of the agencies, and we'll take it over to one of the food banks. But there is a huge need in Teller County, and that way we're able to help them. And during the holidays we do the coat drive, but the food drive is huge.
Yeah, and we just had such a great response from the community too. You just can't say enough about Teller County and just the amount of people, but even
Right.
people outside of Teller County helping
Oh, yeah.
people in Teller County.
Exactly.
From the Front Range, we seem to get a lot of support from just about everywhere.
We
so
do.
It's just amazing to see.
Yeah, and so it's really a good relationship we have, and and especially right now when we're working with El Paso County and Sheriff Roybal and his team, that is a great collaboration that we
relationship
have.
has
Oh,
been
I know, it's been
very
huge.
valuable.
It's been huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's huge. You can't do it alone anymore.
No.
So having partnerships like that, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we also, starting now, at the end of the year, of course, we're going to have Shop of the Hero, as
Yes.
always. But planning for that, we started planning for that as soon as the old Shop of the Hero ended.
Right.
So,
Exactly. But as you know, Tommy, this year, I mean, we say it every year, this was the most money we've ever raised, but we
But you also
still
had
had
more kids
more.
than
This
ever.
was the most kids ever, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. You just don't know what the need is going to be, and that way you have to start early in the year because you have to anticipate that, hey, we may need this, so we still have to do the grants and reaching out
Yeah.
to the businesses and saying we still need the money because we just don't know what the year is going to look like.
Well, it seems like we end a lot of our stuff on December 25th of last year, and we start everything back on January 5th. So we've got about 5 days in there that we're not trying to do something for a community event or
Right.
getting ready for different community events.
Yeah.
Which is the way it should be. That's what your local government should be doing, and that's what we're trying
Absolutely.
to do. But it does seem to succeed in the end because we are getting that assistance from the county and the different groups in the county and the different citizens in the county, and that's really what's helping all these families stay afloat. And I tell you, it's amazing.
And I'm sure people that have watched our podcasts and our interviews and our media press releases, the commissioners have really been instrumental. They
Yep.
are a huge part of the sheriff's office. I mean, when we have swearing-ins and we have events, they're there. Because the thing is that I bet you, especially when I was younger, I didn't even know who my county commissioners were. But these guys, they see them every day. They see them on the streets. They're shopping at Walmart like we are, and it's so great to see them out in the community and being a part of the events that we have here at the sheriff's office.
And you don't see that. We hear that so many times when people talk about the relationship between the sheriff's office and all the other elected officials. It's huge. When you can reach out and then have those good connections and those ties to help bring to light a lot of issues and then also assist us with a lot of things. It's amazing the amount of things we can get done as Teller County because you just don't see that in many places.
Right.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That synergy between the commissioners and the sheriff's office is extremely productive for everybody involved, and really, it makes us all safer and better off. I mean, if I'm honest.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Speaking of that, can I ask you a bit about how things are for manning for the sheriff's office? Where are we at as far as levels for deputies? What's that look like?
Tommy, actually, we're doing better than I think anyone else in the state. I mean, we are truly set for success with the amount of deputies we have and where we're sitting right now. The eventuality is that we're going to need more deputies as positions because the county's growing at a crazy rate.
Sure.
But for what we're seeing right now, we have the personnel. A lot of them have been in training for the last year because it takes up to 18 months to get a deputy out on the road. It takes that long to get them trained.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are from here, which is making a huge difference in keeping and retention.
Yeah.
And they're just quality kids. I'm just so happy with all of them that we're getting.
Right.
We're also getting a lot of lateral transfers from outside the state wanting to come to Teller County because they see the podcast, they see what we're doing in the communities. They want to be a part of that type of an agency. So we've picked up quite a few people now from other states that have come here that were veteran officers there that want to be a part of this county. So I think that's huge too.
Well, I'll tell you, when I was, gosh, all that time ago when I was in the academy, Teller County's, the Teller County Sheriff's Office was one of the biggest names of where people wanted to go. We've got a good reputation for treating our people right, but also for having a community that treats our people well, that understands and believes in the job that they do. So
And that's
really nice.
It's that community belief in the law enforcement organization. That's what's paramount, and it's you have to keep that, and you have to grow that. And the thing is, people have to know that what you do is what you say is what you're going to do. And I think as an agency, we've shown that, and I think it just keeps getting better and better because we are so close with our community.
Yeah.
And how are things looking over in detentions?
Detentions are going very well. I think as a whole organization, the health of an organization is really judged by the type of personnel you have and what's going on within the communities. And really, from what I'm seeing, we have a very good health for an organization, and I think that's the good piece.
An important piece of that, and we're going to get him on later, is Sergeant Klein. Fantastic.
Yes.
I'm so pleased about that.
I know.
Sergeant Klein has put together that peer support group for all the deputies, and for everybody in the organization, not just the deputies, but any of the other workers that we have here who need some peer support. And I mean, the work that he put into that was incredible.
Oh, I know.
And the peer support program is a program designed for mental health within the agency. And what we found was that we were missing, pieces to that program to help deputies through, because it's different now than what it was 20 years ago even. The things that deputies are having to deal with and the pressures of things, and just the outside pressures of social media on them in their personal lives, on the news media in their personal lives, in their family lives. It's really kind of it's a crushing event to deal with some of that stuff. So it is hard for those guys to have to deal with it. So having those programs set up in place within the agency, having that middle piece that they're able to see somebody immediately that understands the law enforcement issues, and then to have major organizations that we can go to that help and really have the commissioner's support on those programs, because they all cost money. I mean, it's an expensive thing.
Sure.
But it's better to help someone before it reaches an emergency state, because we don't want that. And I've been through that many times in law enforcement over the years, and I never want to deal with those types of things that happen. But to be able to give them the right help they need when they need it, it just creates a better health system. And for that mental health piece, it's amazing. So yeah, our mental health programs are second to none in the state that I believe. I was just at a Sheriff's Association piece. I think this was the one prior to this last one I was at. And the person talking about the mental health system, we're talking about the Teller County model, and that actually came out of the model that Tim Dietz and his staff started from the past regional ambulance district, UPRAD, has created within the county, and that we partnered with them many years ago on. So instead of putting a psychologist in every car, a therapist in every car with a deputy like some of the programs, our program is when we have a mental health need, the deputies are able to contact them and they respond immediately as a MAPS. That program is one of the best models I've ever seen in a state, because it keeps the mental health side with the mental health practitioners, instead of trying to make us as deputies and sheriffs and law enforcement be the medical practitioner. I think the separation of that, we have to have an understanding of the goals that we have when we get to scene on how to deal with somebody that has a mental health issue. But having real mental health workers come in and handle that outside of us is huge, because people want to talk to them more than us. So it creates an environment where they feel like they can talk to them without having law enforcement in the middle of it. Because somebody under a mental health issue may think they're in trouble for something.
Okay.
We don't want to continue that on. So having them come in and deal with it secondarily, to where it's not the law enforcement side of it, and us to back out of the situation and just let them handle it, so much better. We've had such a huge success with it. And I tell you, that MAPS program, I think, is probably one of the best programs out there. It's not getting as much coverage as the other one, because it's not as exciting as to have somebody in your car, but try to find a mental health practitioner that wants to be in a car with a cop responding to these types of calls. It's just not something that I think is good. Whereas having them come with the MAPS program, once we've stabilized something, is really where it's needed. And it is paying dividends. It is a great program, and they talked about it as to being one of the best models they've seen. So my hope is it keeps growing.
That's
So
great.
now, we are also seeing our dispatchers are getting very experienced, far more
Yes.
experienced than you would think, Little Teller County.
You know, it's so nice to walk
dispatchers
in there
come
and the room is full and
Well,
everybody's at their computer station. And,
Yeah, but we just seem to keep having these events that, are great learning opportunities
Yeah.
for our dispatchers. What's the manning in our dispatch center look like right now?
It's going very well. I think
Yeah.
we're one away from being fully staffed with 16
Great.
dispatchers. Now, we're probably going to have to plus up more dispatchers.
Sure.
So that we saw that the amount of calls that were happening has actually escalated over 180% from last year.
And last year was an exponential rise from the year
Right.
before.
It was 125% over the year previous. So we're seeing that because we're getting so many more people visiting up here, and then so many more people living up here that aren't from the mountain area.
Yeah.
So what's happening is exponentially your numbers are just increasing so rapidly. And our dispatchers are, this is a very professional dispatch environment. I mean, you go into it looks like the Starship Enterprise. I know people make fun of me all the time because I talk about that, but I'm like, you have 7 screens in front of you.
Sure.
And there's so much data, so much information that you're dealing with, and it's all computer aided too. So it's very quickly shooting you questions that you have to ask that you're filling out the information on. It really eliminates mistakes. And then, you're dispatching to multiple agencies throughout the county. And the funny thing about it is it used to be in the old days, our dispatchers did more than just dispatch. They were the front office person. They were the one greeting people at the window. All those things have been found not to work throughout dispatching. So our dispatchers, their whole job is to dispatch. And I think that's the key to making a professional dispatch center one that actually works.
Sure.
Where there's less mistakes being made, because they're not made to wear so many different hats. Because, man, you're in that room, you are dealing with so many things. On one major fire, one major incident, I may have 2 dispatchers that are dispatching hundreds of personnel.
Okay.
Calling in aircraft, calling in different things from the state, the resourcing. So it's paramount that they are really good at what they do. They have all the computer-aided systems that they have, so they can do it very quickly. And that's what we do. It's highly efficient now. I think we'll probably have to increase the amount of dispatchers just because the amount of workload that they're doing is unbelievable. And that's just going to happen. But for a dispatch center our size to be running with the types of issues that have happened in the county over the, you've got mine incidents, fires, all these different issues. They're amazing people, and they do twice the work of anybody else. They're just amazing.
I've kind of talked about everybody else, but who never ever gets talked about is our administrative staff. Those folks at our front desk, the folks here behind the curtain that are taking care of all of the paperwork and all of those minutia things that free up the deputies to go out and be deputies.
Right.
Oh, it's amazing too. And here's the thing: we don't have enough office staff, right? We just don't. They're doing so many things, everything from community corrections to issuing concealed carry permits.
Burn
And
permits.
you see our concealed carry permits are just going through the roof because
Yep.
we're trying to open that up to where people can get their renewals before some of the crazy laws take effect that really limits people from doing the things they want to do.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story I don't want to get into today, but we're dealing with so many legislative issues right now on that. But those girls have really stepped up. They are doing so many things, and they just do an amazing job. I can't say enough for our front office staff. They, really, I'm fortunate because at a sheriff's office, everything here runs very economical emotion, right? It's very well done. They're professional. They get their job done very quickly because we found great personnel, and they're so efficient in it. If it wasn't for the efficiency, we'd be in trouble.
Right.
And I think that's where we've seen such great dividends is the personnel, their abilities, and that they love doing what they do.
So really, so by and large, as far as manning goes, there's some holes, some gaps, but really by and large, we are running extremely well here right now.
I think so. I think right now we're in a really good position, the best I think we've been in since I started. It's because we have the personnel, we have the systems, we have everything in place that needed to be in place. So it's just going well.
Right. And we didn't mention it, but our new OEM started.
That's
and,
right.
she went
That's
right up,
right.
they had the big conference. So
Michelle
she was,
Boley.
Michelle Boley. And I think
Yeah.
she's going to be awesome. So we'll definitely need to get her on for a podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and the good thing about her is she came from, she understands the state system. She came from El Paso County's OEM office.
Uh-huh.
She really knows her stuff.
She does.
And she is different than what we've seen as OEMs in the past. She is more of the planner, more of the person that puts together those things.
Right.
And that's huge.
Wow. All right. Well, what else do we need to talk about here?
I think that's about it, Tommy. I
Okay.
think we've kind of ran the world with this podcast.
Yeah, really just kind of been an update as to where we are at the sheriff's office now as far as people and operations and things.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's been kind of a fire hose about all the good stuff happening.
yeah, I mean,
It's nice, right? So, I think for the citizens of Teller County, it's good to know that your tax dollars are being spent well with all the systems and the people and the personnel and what's going forward. And I'm just so happy that we're able to do that.
I know. I'm looking forward to another busy year, with all of our events and the programs going on and hitting the ground running. So that'd be great.
And I think, too, for people to understand, last year we saw close to a 325% increase in just call volume. And that's people calling us for something. So I know we are trusted and it does well with the community. But, Tommy, I'm just thankful every day that I work in this county and not other places. So I just want to say thank you, Teller County, for all that you've given us, because I think that really without you as our citizens, it wouldn't be this way. So thank you.
Thank you.